What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Northeast Florida surf fishing forecast for the next few days. I was in Ponte Vedra this afternoon around 3:30, I believe. We had northeast winds, northeast to east, probably blowing 12 to 16 miles an hour, 2 to 4 foot surf, but the water was extremely clean, and the tide was going out about 15 schools of sand fleas within about a 100-yard stretch of the beach. So if you're in the Ponte Vedra area, there are sand fleas everywhere. In Jack's Beach right now, they're up in Neptune Beach. I've heard from a few different people in Flagler and areas north of Flagler that sand fleas are hard to find. I don't really get out into that way too often, so I can't verify that, but they're not finding them, so that tells me that something is, well, they're just not there. And many of the ones today that I was finding, a lot of small ones. And something to note, on Saturday and Sunday, I got a few different text messages from a few people walking in Jack's Beach that were finding dead sand fleas and dead crabs all over the beach. So it's possible something got into the water. As you know, they're filter feeders, so any kind of chemical can get into that water, and if it does, it'll kill them. I remember probably about 7-8 years ago, I was walking and looking for sand fleas, and I came across a whole stretch of beach that had about 70 to 80 big clams, white clams that were dead. They had come up from buried in the sand and they were dead. And I remember talking to someone with either JU or UNF, their marine biology division, and they said definitely something must have been in the water for that to happen. So hopefully one of these boats didn't spill anything out there, but you never know. We got that east wind, it had pushed it right onto the beach, right where the sand fleas feed, and that's that. But over the weekend, we had a few good catches, guys. The rain came early Saturday morning. Before we go any further, just thank everyone who showed up to our seminar. Me and Chip, the sinker guy, we had a fantastic turnout. We had to actually leave the beach and we went up into the parking lot, into the area where there's some grass, so we could all be closer to our vehicles if the storms popped up. But we literally finished, and about 20 minutes later it finally started raining. It was actually very nice because the temperatures were like in the low 80s versus what it had been high 80s, low 90s early in the morning most of the week last week. So that was good. We had talked about line, baits, pretty much covered everything a beginner would need to know. Well, that's good. Oh, okay, that's good to know, Sandy. Because a few people have sent messages to, or Kathy. I was thinking of your last name, and then I have a buddy named Sandy. Kathy, that's good to know. He was saying he's having a hard time finding them, so maybe he's just in the area of beach he's in is just not productive. Just like here in Florida, you know, where I was today, Northeast Florida. I was in Ponte Vedra. I could see the pier north of me. Sand fleas everywhere. I stopped by the pier later after I left Ponte Vedra, and no sand fleas to be found. So they do school, so wherever you find a schools, you're liable to find a bunch of them. So that's how that is. One thing I don't like, I looked at the water temperature, 84 degrees now in Jack's Beach. When I got in it this afternoon, I knew it was hot, but I didn't know it was 84. I do not like that. In the pier logs I have, where the water hits 85, 86, 87 degrees sometimes, the catches aren't that great. You look in the log books from the old pier, and you'll see 1 or 2 trout, 1 or 2 flounder. Probably about the best thing that bites when the water's that warm, honestly, from like the pier, is the kingfish off the end. And the surf, you'll still get a few straggler whiting, especially around the full moon time, of course. That's when a lot of the big ones come in. But those trout, reds, they're gonna be early morning bite and probably late in the evening bite, right before dark and into the night. And as the mullet, speaking of mullet, a few schools have been spotted the last few days in the Jack's Beach area, so they're starting to slowly show up. Last year, I believe it was early July, mid-July, that we started finally seeing some, and then it was full mullet run by the time we come around to August. So we got to hope that water does not keep rising. We almost need, a couple of weeks of straight west wind so we can get a thermocline or something to drop that water temperature down. I don't like seeing that 84 degrees, and we're only in June yet, and we still got a long hurricane season to go, so I don't really like seeing that. But the next few days, winds are pretty consistent. Tuesday, east-southeast, like 10 to 13 miles an hour. Then on Wednesday, the wind's gonna back off and switch over to the west-southwest Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, switching over to the southeast, 12 to 15 in the afternoon, and doing the same thing again Thursday. So if you're gonna have to pick the next 3 days to fish, I would honestly pick tomorrow. Tomorrow would probably be the best day, as the winds are still straight east right now. As we get into, Wednesday afternoon with the southeast winds gusting up to 15, there's a better chance that the water's gonna get dirty in these areas. And if you don't want to fish the beach, you can hit the inlets, I would say. There's some snapper hanging around the inlets, Volano Inlet, Fort Clinch up there, Huguenot. Oh, nice. Good to hear, John. Yeah, as the mullets show up, there's going to be a lot more trout hanging in the surf. But right now, I think a majority of the trout and reds and all of that good stuff, honestly, are in the river. The river is full of shrimp, and as long as that continues, those fish have no need to come out of that river and cruise the surf, honestly. So if we get a lot of rain, that'll force a lot of shrimp out of the river, and then next thing you know, those fish are on the beach. But, we'll still catch them, but not like we will when the mullet and the shrimp are all exiting the river, which is only a couple months away, but boy, we got to go through a lot of heat to get there. Not looking forward to the next few months. What I do, cutting grass, man, it's already cranking up, and I think next week, it's going to be hot, starting around Wednesday or Thursday this week, high of like 100. But next week looks to be even hotter, so not good, guys. One thing, even fishing, no matter what you're doing outdoors, make sure to hydrate, cover up. I got those masks where all you can see is my glasses, and it really does help me stay cooler. I hate putting sunscreen anywhere on my face because it gets in my eyes and burns. And wearing those masks, I don't get my face sunburnt, so it is what it is. I had to learn to wear them. It was a little hot at first, but after I wore them a couple of weeks, now I can't go to the beach or to work without them, so. And I probably got about 40 of them now, all kinds of colors. Maybe we'll get a broken reel wind buff. That's in the works. We still got to get a lot more shirts ordered up. Been real busy, but I've been writing down the sizes everyone needs. So I'll go over to the who made the shirts the last time and talk to them and see what we can do. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. There's no amount of water that'll keep you cool. You just got to keep going. Once you stop, a couple of my customers have pools, and they've asked me, hey, you want to get in my pool? No way, because once that happens, I'm done for the day. That's why when I like to fish in the surf, I don't go until I'm done. I'm not trying to go in the middle of the day and go back to work, because I like to get in the water. Once you get in that water, your body starts to cool down, and it is not interested in getting back out and working in that heat. But if you're going to go out, guys, hit it tomorrow. Maybe early Wednesday as well. But if that wind switches over to the southeast like they're calling for, it's probably going to be a little bit dirty by Wednesday afternoon. Hope not, but we'll see. Whiting, there's still a few straggler pompano. Speckled trout, I've seen a few reds posted up that were caught. A few flounder. And if you're at the seminar, and if you weren't, there are now tarpon cruising the surf. I saw 2 in Ponte Vedra this afternoon, very shallow. Saw a few other reports in Ponte Vedra where people saw it, they were within 100 yards of the beach. You should do good at Matanzas. I'd bring that float rig too. Let it float along that the edge where it comes out and meets the beach. There's some nice trout in that area. If you could get some live mullet too, put it on a Carolina rig and throw out there, you might hook. There's flounder, reds, and trout all under that bridge right there. So it's definitely worth bringing some finger mullet if you can get them, or big mud minnows. They work. But that's all I got for you guys. Stay hydrated, stay cool, catch some fish, and we'll be back at the end of this week with the weekend forecast. Y'all have a great day.